Can affirmations break your self-esteem? Yes, it can. And in this video, I'm going to be revealing exactly why this happens and giving you some practical tips on how you can avoid this common trap people experience when they don't understand affirmation. Hi, this is Adewale from stresstherapist.net. And in today's video, we'll be looking at how to use affirmations for building your sense of self-worth. So meet Grace. Now, Grace was always out of breath, always late, always running for the bus, with documents under her arms, always late for everything. But Grace had a simple mantra, which was, I am always on time and I'm always organized, because she was taught that it's important to say those kinds of things in order to be that kind of better person that she wants to be. However, her reality seemed to be completely different, because the more she repeated these mantras, the more chaotic her life seemed to get. Yet she held so strongly to her affirmations like a safety line. And unfortunately, instead of feeling empowered and organized, she felt more disorientated and more overwhelmed. Instead of feeling like she was achieving her aim, it felt like she was stuck in a quicksand, and her affirmations started to haunt her, becoming a daily reminder of her shortcomings. They became a source of stress, making her life feel like she was a fraud. So now the big message in Grace's story is that affirmations can become self-defeating when misunderstood or misused. So essentially, affirmations are not just this fantasy world. They are not things that we can just take to magically change our worlds and watch our troubles vanish away. If we see them like that, or we treat them like that, we'll find that they become a very powerful self-defeating tool. So, big question is this: how do we prevent affirmations from becoming dangerously self-defeating? I'd like to use an analogy of a traveler going on a voyage to elaborate on this better way of using affirmations effectively to help boost your sense of self-worth. So in this analogy, I'll be looking at a map, a compass, a ship, the captain, and the lighthouse. And in this case, the map is the starting point of every affirmation you try to create. So you can think of your affirmations themselves as your map. If you are going on a journey and you don't know where you're going and you don't have a map, then it's game over, really. But a map is really only as good as its accuracy, because your affirmation must reflect a realistic understanding of your strengths and your weakness, not just a fanciful utopia. It has to provide you with an accurate layout of your potential growth areas. This is really where we want to go, isn't it? We want to improve ourselves. So here's how we're going to use the map. The first step with this would be understanding the terrain. So before you start drawing your map, you need to understand the area that you're going to be covering. This means taking an honest inventory of your strengths and your weaknesses, your skill areas, and areas that need improvement. So for example, if you are someone who thrives in creative tasks, but you struggle with time management, so you need to acknowledge that this reality is your terrain. So in this case, you don't just push away the weaknesses, you look at both areas and use that as a way to judge how you're going to create your map. I hope that makes sense. So next then, we have to mark your current location. And how do we mark our current location? Because you see, your affirmations should reflect where you are in life now. So if you're a student trying to improve your study habits, your affirmations could be, I'm improving my focus every day, instead of, I am the top student of my class. That affirmation is marking your current location. So you see, this step encourages us to set affirmation based on incremental progress rather than just quantum leaps. And it challenges the idea that affirmations must reflect an achievement that's extremely grand. Next thing about the map would be you need to incorporate realistic landmarks. So, for example, if you are working on public speaking, an affirmation could be each speak I give makes me a better speaker. And what are we doing here? We are setting a milestone. We are looking at the landmark of a speech, and we're seeing that each speech is moving you forward. You are recognizing those landmarks in your affirmation. It's realistic. It sticks to the real situation you're in, and helps you see the positives of the situation. Although yes, it's tough. Doing the speech is tough. Planning the speech is tough, but you see yourself developing and you're acknowledging that development. So next, we're now moving from the map to the compass. So the compass, this is the alignment with the reality of your life. It points to the true north, guiding you through the choppy waters of self-improvement. So a compass that's miscalibrated, for example, can lead you astray so easily, just as affirmations that are detached from your reality can guide you away from your goals and guide you towards false goals, in fact. And this is going to lead you to getting frustrated and could actually shatter your self-esteem. So here are a few ways to ensure that the compass you're following is aligned with reality. So the first thing is that we need to check the magnetic field. And in this case, the magnetic field would be the influences around you that can distort your compass. So you need to recognize and resist affirmations that are influenced by societal pressures or unrealistic expectations. So if you are feeling pressured to be more outgoing because of societal norms, sometimes we've just got to resist the temptation to create affirmations like, I love a large crowd, I love social gatherings, I love large groups of people. Doesn't make sense. So next, we want to ensure that your affirmations remain your guide, but you are in charge. The journey is yours. The journey does not belong to your affirmation. What does that mean? Because you see, if your affirmation is, I'm getting better at public speaking, remember that you've still got to practice public speaking to get better. You can't just think that the affirmation will somehow make you get better. Yes, you are acknowledging that you are getting better, which is a good thing. Because otherwise, maybe you'll be thinking, I'm a horrible speaker, I'm the worst speaker on planet Earth. But in this case, you are acknowledging your ability is improving while still knowing that you still got to practice the public speaking to get better. So in essence, there's a need to act on your affirmation. Affirmations alone can't lead to change. Great. So next, still staying on the compass, we've got to recognize that there is a need for using other tools as well. So a compass isn't the only tool in an explorer's kit. In the same way, affirmations are not the only tools for personal growth. So suppose you are struggling with self-discipline. In addition to affirmations like, I am improving myself every day, you might need to use other tools like setting a realistic goal or finding an accountability partner. So this emphasizes a key point that affirmations are really part of a wider set of strategies. You can't just rely on them alone. That takes us to the end of the compass itself. And now we're going to move to the ship. Now, the ship, this is your self-belief, the vessel that carries you through your journey. Your affirmations should build and strengthen your ship and not overload it with unrealistic expectations that can sink the ship. Now, to ensure that your ship remains strong, your self-belief remains strong, here are 3 steps to ensure the affirmations you're using strengthens your ship and not sink it. So the first step here is choosing the materials wisely. Again, we're talking about affirmations based on reality and not fantasies. For example, if you struggle with time management, an affirmation like, I am a master of managing my time, might feel false and actually erode your self-belief. So instead, we use something like, I am getting better at managing my time. And that can work more effectively as an affirmation because it's based on the growth process that you're experiencing, on the progress you are experiencing. So this defies the idea that affirmations should project an ideal sense of self, pushing the importance of affirmations grounded in your current reality. Next, just like a ship needs regular upkeep, your affirmations require occasional revisiting and revising. What does that mean? See, if you made a progress in your public speaking skills, for example, you need to update your affirmations from, I am becoming more comfortable with public speaking, to, I am confident in my public speaking skills. Again, this challenges the idea that affirmations are set in stone. Your affirmations need to be dynamic and moving with where you are in life. So next, affirmations are meant to propel you forward. So we want to sail. We don't just want to anchor in one position, because your affirmations are meant to inspire actions. If you have a tendency to procrastinate, an affirmation like, I'm going to take action today, emphasizes movement and progress. So next we go to the captain. Because the reality here is you are the captain of your voyage, not your affirmations. Why is that important? Because it's essential to remember that you are the one steering the direction of your life and not the affirmation. They are just tools in your hands. So letting affirmations dictate your actions without critical input can lead towards a very bad experience, creates an illusion, creates self-deceptions. So here are 3 ways to help you prevent affirmations becoming the false driver of your life. So the first one is, and I like this picture of a baby here, and the picture, you can see what the baby's doing is, she's reading, I don't know if it's a he or she, but is reading an article and it's supposed to be reading the weather reports. So you see, as we say, your affirmations are tools, but you must also respond to the weather of your life, because the unexpected challenges and the opportunities you are going to experience are going to push you to and fro. So if you are facing job loss, for example, an affirmation like, I am adaptable in the face of change, helps you adjust your skills. So saying I am adaptable in the face of change helps you sense an acceptance for the change and an acceptance for the need to adapt and the need to grow in that situation. So next, you should believe in your ability to navigate not just the guidance of the affirmation. In other words, trust in your ability to be the captain of your own ship. So an affirmation like, I trust in my ability to make a good choice, can bolster your sense of confidence as a captain. I know sometimes that can be hard because, as I said, that statement, you might just be listening to me and thinking, but I made some very horrible choices in the past. But reality is you've made some very good choices too. So learning to lean into a memory of the good choices you've made can help this kind of affirmation to have more meaning and help to move you forward. Again, this goes against the belief that affirmations are solely about the destination you're going. And there's an importance here of faith in one's journey. Okay. There's an underlying important focus here of faith in one's journey. And so, being the captain of your ship, you've got to let your crew rest sometimes. Don't forget to allow yourself some downtime. Your affirmations should encourage a balance. An affirmation like, I respect my need for rest, ensures that you maintain the stamina of your voyage. So you've got to challenge that drive to not rest. This particular affirmation will help you to do that. This challenges this idea that progress is about keeping on moving all the time. Sometimes progress is about also resting and rejuvenating ourselves. So moving on from the captain part, we go to the lighthouse. So you see, the eventual goal of any self-improvement, any building of your self-worth is your lighthouse. And what's the lighthouse here? The lighthouse here is the goal you're reaching for. But beware that setting your lighthouse too far into the realms of perfection can make it impossible and can make it extremely off-putting. So this is important because chasing an unattainable lighthouse can lead you to a perpetual storm of self-doubt that would erode your self-esteem. Now, here's how we work with our lighthouse properly. So first, here is the concept of the elastic lighthouse. Setting goals that stretch but are not rigidly impossible. So you see, when setting your goals, allow for flexibility. The idea is to set goals that stretch your ability but not break you. So for instance, instead of affirming, I am a successful author while never having written a page, you can try, I'm committing to writing regularly. Next, don't rely on common or popular affirmations to eliminate your way. Affirmation that will work for one person may mean nothing at all to you. So for example, if you're aiming for financial discipline, instead of a generic, I am wealthy, try a personalized, I am making informed and wise financial decisions. So this emphasizes your own position where you are. It's not just off the rack ideas, one size fits all. And it shows the importance of crafting personalized affirmations. And then lastly, it's important to discern a true lighthouse from a mirage. What do I mean here? Make sure your affirmations represent authentic aspirations and not societal pressures. So for instance, rather than an affirmation that says, I am a CEO of a company that's extremely successful, rather than saying that because of trying to please people or trying to make yourself look good in front of people, you might prefer, I am pursuing work that's meaningful to me right now. This strikes at the heart of authenticity versus conformity in our self-improvement journey, provoking the question, whose life am I living anyway? So in conclusion, it's important to tailor your affirmations to make them align with yourself and what's important to you. And they become much more powerful and transformative than just taking them off the shelf and just copying what other people are saying and what other people are doing.